A lot of people reach a point where a financial decision suddenly feels urgent, not just important, urgent. Retirement, a pension decision, selling a business. There's a sense that something needs to be done. And what often surprises people is that urgency arrives before clarity does. That feeling doesn't mean you're behind, and it doesn't mean you've missed something. And it doesn't mean the decision is obvious. In fact, urgency often shows up because the decision is bigger than it first appears. When a decision will shape the next phase of your life, the mind looks for certainty, and urgency can feel like certainty. It creates movement and it creates relief. But urgency and clarity are not the same thing. When decisions are reversible, moving quickly usually isn't a problem. But when decisions aren't easily undone, speed really makes them safer. In those situations, what matters most is how fast you move. It's whether you really understand what you're deciding and why now. What I see again and again is people making technically sound decisions at the wrong moment. Not bad decisions, just early ones. Decisions made to relieve pressure rather than because the situation was fully understood. Those decisions often need revisiting later, not because the advice was poor, but because the timing was off. And timing in decisions like these matters more than most people expect. So if a decision feels urgent, that's not necessarily a signal to act. Often, it's a signal to pause and understand what's really being decided. Sometimes the strongest move isn't another answer, it's a permission to think. If you're facing a decision that feels bigger than it looks, you're not alone. And there's no prize for moving quickly if it turns out the ground wasn't solid yet. Clarity tends to last. Relief from pressure really does.